Hello and welcome to Hindustan Times. My name is Rasesh. We are joining you at the end of day 2 of the World Test Championship final, which is effectively the day 1, with the first day lost to rain and there being a reserve day. It has to be said, if India is marginally ahead at the end of proceedings, India have 146 for 3 at the end of 64.4 overs, and we say that despite the fact that India has managed to score runs only at 2.25 runs per over, because it was New Zealand who won the toss, enforced India into bat, and at the time Williamson may have thought he would get those 3 wickets of the first session itself, but that did not happen. Indian openers deciding to play the patience game. India's performance was effectively a tale of 2 partnerships. One, the opening partnership between Shubman Gill and Rohit Sharma, and then the now unbeaten partnership between Virat Kohli and Ajinkya Rahane. Now, at the time when New Zealand inserted India into bat, they had the likes of Tim Southee and Trent Boult, both one of the better exponents of swing bowling, and they were up against Gill, who was playing his first test match in England, and Rohit Sharma, who was playing his first test match in England as a test opener. So both of them had a mountain to climb in that sense, because the ball was expected to do a bit, and it did. The ball did swing around and seemed of the surface as well. Not to say that it was unplayable conditions, but those were testing conditions. You were always going to be tested outside the off stump. And both the batsmen deciding to take a cue from the Virat Kohli playbook of 2018 England, standing a few meters outside the crease. Not to say that's the only way you can play swing bowling, but that's the Indian method, and it worked effectively because it sort of disrupted the New Zealand lengths a little bit. At least Boult and Southee were not able to be as effective. They were not able to bowl deliveries at a cluster, which is something that you look to do when you're trying to prize out a batsman swinging the ball, make them bowl a few deliveries outside the off stump and then bring that one in. Of course, Shubman Gill, interestingly, not just stood outside the crease, he actually stepped down the wicket a little bit off and on, like you would do to a spinner. That was, of course, that had its own risk, but it worked till it did. Finally, in fact, he decided to do that against Kyle Jamieson as well, and that was quite brave, because Jamieson's got a little bit more pace than Boult and Southee, and initially he tried to pull his length back, and Gill slapped him, pulled him away for a boundary, and then there was some good check on drives as well. Finally, until that 5th delivery of the 18th over, when Jamieson's bouncer struck Shubman Gill on the grill of his helmet, and that shook him up a little bit, and after that Gill did not advance down the track. 6 overs later, Neil Wagner came on, and he decided to bowl full and not short, and got Gill playing one false stroke outside the off stump. A few overs before that, Rohit Sharma played a false stroke outside the off stump of Jamieson as well. So after that bouncer, that phase of 5 or 6 overs, India lost both their openers, and they were not the same. And so as a result of that first session did not go India's way. Having said that 62-run partnership did ensure that the first session did not entirely go New Zealand's way as well. So it was fairly even Stevens that paved the way for ultimately the 4th wicket partnership between Ajinkya Rahane and Virat Kohli, which was a partnership which was disrupted a lot with rain coming in and bad light coming in, particularly in the post-tea session. There were too many disruptions and very little cricket, and but Virat Kohli stood strong. And one fact that I'll leave you with before we wrap up, it was a 44-run unbeaten innings of Virat Kohli. And where is it that he generally scores? He does score a lot of runs in the straight V, but only 1 run of those 44 came in the straight V. So Virat Kohli deciding to play square of the wicket, both on the off and the on side, primarily between point and mid off, and square leg and mid wicket. And that was pretty much the similar wagon wheel that Ajinkya Rahane had as well. And there's an interesting point that someone like Kumar Sangakkara made in commentary, that he said that while it is everyone's trained to play straight when the ball is swinging and seaming, sometimes, particularly when the ball is moving in the air, it's not a bad tactic to follow the swing and play it late, and that's something that Kohli and Rahane decided to do as well. So they're still going strong, and there's hope that India will be able to post a competitive total. But the good thing about this test match is that it is largely evenly poised, because India hasn't got runs at a fair clip. New Zealand, if they have a good morning session, can be straight back into the game and be in a commanding position as well. So this match fairly evenly poised, but it has to be said, the end of day 1, effectively, it looks like it's slightly advantage India.